Let's discuss all of this with Asim Iftikhar Ahmad. He's the permanent representative of Pakistan to the United Nations and is speaking to us from New York City. Ambassador, thank you so much for your time during a very difficult time in your region. There are many calls from around the world for a de-escalation now from India and Pakistan. What kind of discussions are you having with other UN members, including possibly India's representative there?
Yes, thank you. And I think you started off with me with the right question. And this is about de-escalation. And while I was hearing what was being said earlier, that as to what caused this escalation, so it is totally wrong to suggest that terrorist attack in the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir on 22nd, that this is what caused escalation. This was a horrible attack which was condemned by everyone, but it is then India which took steps that led to this escalation. You remember that on the very next day, they initiated some decisions which were directly targeting Pakistan, that included the suspension or putting into abeyance of the Indus Water Treaty. And then there was a series of actions, rhetoric, public statements at the highest levels, blaming Pakistan without any evidence, without any credible investigation. So it was the same playbook that we have seen and experienced. We have been through this many times. And that's why, we knew from the very beginning that this is leading to somewhere that we saw also previously in 2019, for example. So we were talking already to the members of the Security Council. We engaged the Secretary General. Many other countries, our common friends, they also sensed that it might escalate. So there were calls from everywhere, from the UN, from the members of the Council, from the Secretary General who offered his good offices. Pakistan said from the very beginning, we have nothing to do with this incident. And in response to the baseless allegations, we said we demand an impartial, credible, neutral investigation. But you saw that they did not wait for such an investigation. They did not heed the calls for restraint and de-escalation from the international community. And they went ahead with this act of aggression in the night of 6th and 7th of May, to which Pakistan has to respond. And we have the right to self-defense in accordance with international law and the UN Charter.
Ambassador, when then does something like de-escalation and talks regarding de-escalation begin if there's still military action right now between the two?
I believe that, there was right from the beginning, because it was becoming evident that this would lead to something serious. As I recalled, on the very next day, on 23rd, they announced some steps which were already escalatory. We had to respond. The Pakistan National Security Committee met on 24th of April and announced some countermeasures which were proportionate, measured, but then it was escalating already because there were statements being made, there was a lot of disinformation, the blame game going on, and not listening to the voice of reason. So I think our friends, the common friends, many of the countries, they could also sense that things were going in the wrong direction. So that's where the calls for restraint and de-escalation started coming in. The Secretary General became involved. He spoke to both sides. He spoke to our Prime Minister. He spoke to the Indian Foreign Minister. He offered his good offices. And many other countries offered the same. Then we had many days later, while we were sensing already that something, some kinetic action might come into play from the Indian side, we then also convened a meeting of the Security Council on 5th, earlier this week, on Monday. And in that meeting also, it was a unanimous kind of opinion among the members of the Council that this was a serious situation and that it needed to be addressed in a peaceful manner through dialogue and the common message was that there should be de-escalation, and the members supported all such efforts, including the offer of good offices by the Secretary General. But as I was saying, India decided to go ahead. They disregarded all these calls, and I think they've clearly violated international law in undertaking this aggression, which Pakistan has the right to defend against.
And the countries that, and most of the world is concerned about what's happening right now, of course, and because it's such a serious situation, not just because of the region that it's in, but also, of course, because Pakistan and India are both nuclear-armed nations. And there's great concern that if this escalates, that nuclear weapons of any kind could be used here. Hopefully we don't see it coming to that, because that would be disastrous on so many levels. But is that a valid concern that many countries should have, not just people in the region themselves?
Yes, I mean, you are right. This region and Kashmir has been described as a nuclear flashpoint. Only a few days back, the Financial Times editorial described it as a geopolitical fault line. So I think those concerns are obviously there, but I can tell you that as a responsible nuclear weapon state, Pakistan is very clear. We want peace. We are not at all moving in that direction. Our stated position was very clear, and it remains the same, that anything can be discussed. You can also have investigation that can be accepted as credible and transparent on this incident, but we cannot accept that a country decides on its own to level allegations and then acts as a judge and the jury. So that's the main problem here. It has happened so many times in the past. So that's why we are saying that there should be a way to reduce tensions, to de-escalate the situation, find a way forward. But unfortunately, the response from our neighbors is not positive. I think it is totally counterproductive what they're doing, and it's increasing, those apprehensions and those fears that you mentioned are there among the members of the international community, that this is a very dangerous, explosive situation, and if it really continues this way, and it can spiral out of control. So there is a great need to actually calm things down and to make a serious, concerted effort to de-escalate.
And
But
hopefully
let me reiterate, Pakistan is not the one who is escalating. Whatever actions we have taken so far, since the night of 6th and 7th of May, when they attacked us, it was an unprovoked, unwarranted aggression. Whatever actions we have taken, they have been in response. And we haven't yet exercised the right to reply in accordance with the Article 51 of the Charter.
Hopefully there will be a way found to de-escalate this, especially to prevent the loss of more civilian lives. Ambassador Ahmad in New York, thank you so much again for speaking to us.
Thank you.